So we're gonna start off with a game. Everyone raise your hand. Okay, to test this out, I'm gonna say a few things. If it applies to you, you would keep your hand up, and if it doesn't, you'll put your hand down. To test this out, how many of you have pets? If you do have a pet or many pets, you would keep your hand up. If you don't, you would put your hand down. Okay, hands back up. How many of you have moved internationally? More than once? If you have, keep your hand up. More than twice? More than 3 times? More than 4 times? More than 5 times? More than 6 times? More than 7 times? More than 8 times? More than 9 times? Okay. If you raised your hand, you may be a TCK. If you don't know exactly what this term means, here's the answer. Third culture kids are kids who are raised in a culture other than that of their parents or the culture of their country of nationality, and also spend a significant part of their developmental years in a different environment. This is what the Merriam-Webster dictionary defines as a third culture kid. There's more than that, though. The experience of each third culture kid is different, so I'm here to tell you what the dictionary can. Hello, I'm Melanie Corby, and this is my talk on third culture kids, also known as TCKs. One thing to remember is all third culture kids have different experiences. And I cannot possibly fit that all into one speech, so I will give you the information I have. Most third culture kids don't have a choice in being the former. That aside, let's look on the bright side and start with advantages. Most third culture kids are very empathetic and open-minded. This is because they develop an identity that's rooted in people rather than places. They're also likely to form closer and more meaningful relationships with immediate family members. My little brother is my best friend. My entire family moves together, so he can't really get rid of me. But when your little brother is your best friend, you have to be able to problem solve. Who gets the last piece of candy on Halloween? What movie to watch? What game to play? What are the official rules of Uno? Although not all TCKs have little brothers, most TCKs are excellent problem solvers, as they are used to not understanding things immediately, the culture or the language of where they're living. I have lived in Bulgaria for slightly less than a year, and I have learned some Bulgarian. My first week of living in Bulgaria, I discovered a bakery. Aided by my Google Translate app and lots of practice, repeating the same words over and over again, I set out on a mission. I was to retrieve 2 bottles of orange juice from the bakery. When I arrived, I was slightly unsure, and probably for a good reason. When I opened my mouth to order the orange juices, I got out maybe 1 syllable, and then I stood there blankly. And then I pointed to the orange juices, held up 2 fingers, making sounds that were a weird mix of English, Spanish, and gibberish. When I finally got the orange juices, I left the store, feeling completely stupid, yet a little bit proud. And I went back there every day until the school year started, till I finally learned how to order orange juice. Dva protokolovi soka molia. Although I've explained why TCKs are amazing at gibberish and ordering orange juices, I also have to talk about the hard stuff. The other stuff the dictionary doesn't tell you. Most TCKs struggle with unresolved grief and depression. We are constantly losing our beloved world. Our old friends become a part of us we don't always see. People we may have spoken to every day, we now speak to once a month. Most TCKs cycle through the stages of grief each time they move, or they don't, and ignore it till it resurfaces later in life. TCKs can also be treated differently or unfairly due to their culture or their country of origin at different places. My first week at a new school, a kid came up to me and said, "Get out of Europe. We don't want you or your school shootings." I'm American, and what the kid said is something my country definitely struggles with. But the way the kid said it was blaming me for something I can't control. Where I'm from and what the country I'm from has done. On the topic of where I'm from, that is something more TCKs also kind of struggle with. Where are you from? This may seem like a simple question, but know it that it isn't like that for everyone. For me, the question of where I'm from has always been a little bit odd. I was born in Virginia, and here's a list of places I've lived since then. Tijuana, Mexico, Harare, Zimbabwe, La Paz, Bolivia, Virginia and California, USA, and Sofia, Bulgaria. The question has always been a little bit odd. When I moved from Mexico to Zimbabwe, if you asked me where I was from then, I was 4, I would have told you with full confidence, I am from Mexico. When I was 9 and moved to Virginia, if you asked me then, I would have told you I'm from Virginia. And I guess, in some sense, that is where I'm from. I was born there, I have a United States passport, and I speak with an American accent. but I'm 13, and I only spent 5 of those years in the United States. I am from the United States, but I don't always feel 100% American. The fact that I move every few years is a large part of who I am. It may be a large part of who many people are. There are many questions you can ask when meeting someone, but where are you from might not be the best one. I hope you learned a little bit more about yourself or someone you know. I hope you learned a little bit more about third culture kids than a dictionary definition. Third culture kids are all around us. They're their own kind of superheroes. They have valuable experiences and opinions. Just ask them. Thank you.